Fox News is continuing to follow breaking developments, bringing in new details on a major story. President Donald Trump has announced an additional 25% tariff on India. According to a post from the Associated Press, the president signed an executive order today implementing this extra tariff in response to India's ongoing purchases of Russian oil. This new measure brings the total U.S. tariffs on India to 50%. The order specifies that the tariffs will take effect 21 days after signing, potentially allowing India and Russia a short window to negotiate with the administration over these import taxes. The move could have a significant impact on India's economic ambitions. Many U.S. companies have looked to India as an alternative manufacturing hub to China, something President Trump had encouraged while imposing tariffs to reduce American reliance on Chinese imports. Interestingly, despite also purchasing oil from Russia, Beijing has not been included in this latest round of tariffs. The U.S. and China are currently engaged in separate trade talks, with Washington imposing a 30% tariff on Chinese goods and facing a 10% retaliatory tax from Beijing on American products. On the screen is a post from Rapid Response 47 on X, relaying a White House statement confirming that President Trump has signed the order to impose the additional 25% tariff on India over its continued imports of Russian oil. The White House described this as a small portion of a much longer official post explaining the policy in detail. In part of the executive order, the president stated that after receiving further information from senior officials regarding the Russian government's actions in Ukraine, he determined that the national emergency outlined in Executive Order 14066 remains in effect. The order argues that Russia's policies continue to pose an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. To address this threat, the order authorizes an additional duty on imports from India that are directly or indirectly connected to Russian oil. The president concluded that these tariffs, alongside existing measures, would more effectively address the national emergency first described in Executive Order 14066. The White House post itself is lengthy and contains further technical details, but the core message is clear. The U.S. is ramping up trade pressure on India in response to its energy ties with Russia. As of now, Washington, D.C. remains at the center of this developing story, with the administration signaling a strong stance on both economic and geopolitical fronts.